My name is Kala, and tonight I begin another midnight safety inspection inside one of the oldest chemical processing plants still operating outside the city. The facility stretches endlessly, filled with towering steel structures, pressurized pipelines, and metal catwalks suspended high above concrete containment floors below. Imran, the senior operator training me tonight, walks beside me calmly, his years of experience obvious in his steady and confident movements. Supervisor Nadia's voice speaks through our radios clearly, reminding us to complete valve inspections before the pressure cycle begins again soon. Chemical plants never truly sleep, but after midnight, something about this place feels unusually detached from the normal world outside. Have you ever stood inside a machine so large that your existence inside it felt small and completely unnoticed? Imran tells me most new inspectors struggle with the isolation here before eventually adapting to the constant mechanical environment surrounding them. The air smells faintly metallic, mixed with chemical residue, and something older that feels impossible to properly describe or identify. Our boots echo loudly against the steel catwalk as we begin walking toward the first pressure valve inspection point. Nadia reminds us calmly that safety comes first, even when the environment feels psychologically uncomfortable during overnight industrial operations. As we walk across the elevated platform, I hear something unusual behind us that immediately forces me to stop moving. It sounds like footsteps, metallic and deliberate, striking the steel surface several meters behind where we were just standing. I turn my flashlight slowly, expecting to see another worker approaching from the darkness behind the pipeline structures. Nothing stands there. Only empty steel pathways illuminated by dim industrial safety lighting and drifting chemical vapor below. Imran notices my reaction immediately and asks calmly what caused me to stop so suddenly in the middle of inspection. I describe the footsteps carefully, and his expression changes slightly, though he quickly regains his professional composure again. He explains that sometimes expanding metal creates sounds, but his voice lacks the confidence expected from that explanation. Nadia asks over the radio if everything remains safe, her voice steady, but clearly attentive to our unusual silence. I confirm our safety, but inside I know the sound resembled walking, not random industrial expansion or mechanical shifting. As we resume walking, we cannot ignore the lingering feeling that something had been following our exact path moments earlier. The rest of the inspection continues normally, but neither Imran nor I mention the footsteps again during that patrol. Still, the silence behind us feels heavier now, as if something remains present but intentionally hidden from view tonight. Have workers here experienced things they never officially reported, choosing silence instead of risking their professional credibility? Imran eventually speaks quietly, admitting some operators avoid certain catwalk sections during overnight maintenance whenever possible. His honesty confirms that my experience may not have been as isolated as I initially hoped it would be. We complete the first inspection, but the memory of those footsteps refuses to leave my thoughts completely behind. Industrial environments contain dangers everyone understands, but unexplained ones create a different kind of lasting psychological pressure. Nadia instructs us to proceed toward Valve 7, located near the oldest and least renovated section of the facility. Imran hesitates briefly before agreeing, and that hesitation alone tells me more than words ever could explain. Something about Valve 7 clearly carries a history no training manual ever officially documented for new inspectors like me. Valve 7 stands alone in a dim containment, chamber surrounded by older pipes showing visible corrosion from decades of operation. The air temperature drops noticeably as we approach, despite active thermal systems designed to maintain consistent operational heat levels. Nadia informs us that pressure fluctuations have been irregular here, requiring immediate physical inspection tonight without further delay. I shine my flashlight across the valve structure, carefully observing every surface for leaks, damage, or maintenance irregularities present. That is when I notice something impossible, a shadow standing beside the valve that does not belong there. It appears human-shaped, but faint, like darkness layered over deeper darkness, without clear physical definition or form. I freeze completely, unable to process what my eyes are showing me in that moment of silent realization. Imran follows my gaze, and his breathing becomes slower, more controlled, but he does not express surprise or disbelief. Instead, he quietly tells me to remain calm and avoid approaching the valve until we fully assess the situation. Nadia asks for an update, and Imran responds professionally, choosing not to mention the shadow over the open radio channel. The shadow does not move, but its presence feels aware, like something observing us without revealing its true nature. I blink, and suddenly it is gone, leaving only empty industrial equipment and dim artificial lighting behind once again. My heart continues racing long after it disappears, and I question whether stress could create such realistic visual experiences. Imran finally speaks honestly, revealing that a fatal accident occurred near Valve 7 many years earlier. He explains some workers claim to see something there during pressure fluctuations, but official reports never acknowledge those stories. Nadia instructs us to complete the inspection and return immediately to the main control corridor afterward without delay. We obey without question, both silently understanding the importance of leaving that location behind as quickly as possible. But as we walk away, I cannot stop wondering if that shadow had been watching long before we arrived tonight. And more importantly, whether it would still be there long after we left the containment chamber behind us. Industrial accidents leave physical damage, but do they also leave something else permanently embedded within those environments afterward? Our final inspection takes us into a decommissioned wing, no longer used in daily chemical production operations anymore. Nadia explains that automated systems reported movement there, even though no workers had access authorization for that section currently. The corridor feels abandoned, its equipment silent, its purpose forgotten by everyone except maintenance records and old documentation. As we enter, I see someone standing at the far end, wearing what appears to be a standard plant uniform. He faces away from us, performing repetitive hand movements near an inactive control panel mounted on the wall. I assume it must be another operator, but Imran stops me suddenly before I can approach any closer. He whispers that no one else should be inside this section, especially during a restricted overnight inspection period like tonight. We watch silently as the figure repeats the same motion again and again and again, without interruption or variation. I call out, asking if he needs assistance, but he does not respond or acknowledge our presence whatsoever. Then suddenly, he is gone, leaving only empty space and silent machinery behind where he had been standing moments earlier. My entire body feels cold despite the protective gear designed to regulate temperature in hazardous industrial environments safely. Nadia's voice returns, asking urgently what we just witnessed inside the restricted maintenance corridor area moments ago. Imran answers carefully. choosing words that maintain professionalism while still communicating the seriousness of the situation clearly. Nadia instructs us to leave immediately and secure the section until further investigation can occur during daytime hours. Neither of us argue, and we exit quickly, both fully aware that what we saw defied logical explanation entirely. I realize industrial facilities hold more than machinery. They hold memories connected to the people who worked there before. By morning, the plant feels normal again. But the experiences from that shift remain permanently embedded inside my memory. Imran admits privately that most workers eventually experience something they cannot logically explain during overnight industrial assignments there. Nadia documents our reports professionally, never dismissing our experiences, but never confirming any specific explanation either afterward. Working midnight shifts changes how you see isolation, machinery, and the environments you trust to remain predictable. Have you ever experienced something at work that you could never fully explain, even years later afterward? Would you continue working in a place where reality itself sometimes felt uncertain and psychologically unsettling at night? These questions remain with me every time I begin another midnight inspection inside that endless steel labyrinth facility. Chemical plants process materials, but they also preserve moments connected to human lives, tragedies, and forgotten experiences. My name is Kala, and this remains the most unforgettable night of my professional career working there. These stories remind us how powerful isolation and environment can be on human perception and emotional stability. True Terror Files Official exists to share real experiences that challenge how we understand familiar environments safely. Our mission is to document, explore, and present these stories professionally, respectfully, and responsibly for viewers worldwide. Your support allows us to continue investigating true encounters experienced by real workers in real locations globally. Subscribe now to True Terror Files Official to join our growing community of thoughtful and curious viewers. Turn on notifications so you never miss future true industrial horror stories and professional investigations like this. Like this video if you appreciate realistic, atmospheric storytelling based on genuine human experiences and emotions. Share your own midnight shift experiences in the comments, because your story could help others feel understood. Fear does not always come from danger. Sometimes it comes from uncertainty and unanswered questions. Industrial environments test more than skill. They test the strength of the human mind and emotional endurance. Imran still works there today, and Nadia still supervises every overnight shift professionally and carefully. I continue my work as well, but I never forget what I witnessed during that unforgettable first night. Some places never truly forget the people who once walked their steel corridors and elevated platforms, and sometimes those memories continue walking long after everyone else has gone home safely. The question is not whether something is there, but whether we are prepared to experience it calmly. Thank you for watching True Terror Files Official and supporting professional true horror storytelling. Your time, attention, and curiosity make this work possible and meaningful for creators like us. Stay safe, stay aware, and always trust your instincts in unfamiliar environments and situations. Because sometimes the unknown is simply waiting to be noticed by the right person. And sometimes that person might be you during your next midnight shift alone. Remember to subscribe to True Terror Files Official for more true and professional horror experiences. Our next story may reveal another hidden truth waiting in the darkness somewhere nearby. Until then, Thank you for being part of this growing and dedicated community. This is Kala, and this was my true midnight shift experience inside the chemical plant. And I will never forget the night the industrial corridors reminded me I was not alone.